welcome to Ron's World. I am here with the unboxing of the Apevia Venus Power 450 watt non-efficient power supply. Before I get into the unboxing, 80 Plus is a voluntary certification program launched in 2004 intended to promote efficient energy use in computer power supply units. 80 Plus logo certification is acquirable for products that has more than 80% energy efficiency at 20%, 50%, and 100% of rated load, and a power factor of 0.9 or greater at 100% load. From 2000 on back to the early 1990s, power supplies like this, non-efficient power supplies, was our best in that era for our simple personal computer needs. With a dedicated power surge protector that helps us regulate how much power we could go ahead and push into our personal computers. Let's get into the unboxing of the Apevia Venus Power 450 watt power supply. I'm excited unboxing this cell, and I want y'all to be excited too. Alright everybody, we are now back to the unboxing of the Apevia Venus Power Series. Now, this is a non-efficient power supply, just like I stated in the video earlier, that in 2004 to about 2005 or 6, we came up with the 80 plus efficiency power supplies. Now, before that, this is what we was using to build our PCs on. Before they made the power supplies power efficient. So with that, these was a nice, good, perfect power supplies that we could use, such as Apevia. And y'all see I did the build of the Thermotech 6 build for my old friend of mine for old PC I did when he had brought the Diabolo Tech power supply. Yes. And you know, the GAMEMAX power supply model I500. Yes, those power supplies were used in our personal computer needs. Before we even got into gaming, before gaming took off, we were just using computers just for basic use, such as browsing the internet, and pretty much it. And then as our technology started changing, we started doing more with our PCs. Now, with these power supplies, you can only be on the PC no more than 2 to 4 hours. Now, since everything changed to efficiency, we could be on our PC more than 8 plus hours. Now, Apevia do make 80 plus certified efficiency power supply, so I will be putting those links in the description below. And I'm gonna give y'all a good note, since this is a 450, I will be hooking this power supply up to my Ryzen 5 3600, my A10 5800K with the GTX 1060 3GB, and my A12 9800. Those 3 PCs I mentioned will be powered off this power supply using Cinebench 20. Yes, I'm going to push it to the load. Y'all saying, are he crazy? Maybe, but I feel confident in this brand. And a lot of people did unboxings of them using heavy equipment such as water pumps, AIO coolers, motherboard that pushing high powered equipment. It passed, but you also heard some kind of like debunking with pumps and everything. But enough said. The Apevia 450-watt Venus Power Series will be powering my Ryzen 5 3600 32 gigabyte editing rig and business rig, my A10 5800K gaming rig, and my entertainment rig is the A12 9800. Let's go ahead and get into the unboxing. Now, before we do that, there also makes the 450 Venus Power. This is what I have right there. They do the 550 watts as well as the 500 watts. So just keep that in mind as well. Those are non-efficient power supplies. So if you're looking for a simple power supply just for simple personal computer usage, such as browsing the internet, Skyping, listening to Spotify, watching Hulu, Netflix for no more than 2 to 4 hours, then I will recommend this power supply. Now, if you're doing high-end stuff such as creator, editing videos, playing video games, streaming, I will recommend the 80 plus efficiency power supplies. So let's go ahead and get into the unboxing of the power supply. Off bat, one thing they could have done, presentation was, it's okay. You know, you got the black box, you got the name. One thing I did like, they did added some models on the side, so that was a big plus too, to let them know they got more non-efficient power supplies you can use. Now, keep in mind, I am using the GAMEMAX 500 XT non-efficient power supply, so that's a big plus as well. And it's still kicking. I had it for like 3-4 months right now. Now keep in mind, this is your manual information needs to know. On the 450, you have 20 plus 4 pin main power, your 12 volt 8 pin CPU power. You have 3 SATAs, you have 3 Molecs, and of course you have the floppy disconnect. AC power is 115 to 230 VAC. Now keep in mind, make sure that your power supply switching in the back is 115. If it's at 230, you're going to damn near fry everything, such as blowing the socket in the wall, blowing your motherboard out, as well as your CPU and anything else as well as with it, such as your M.2 drive, etc., because you got on the wrong voltage. And make sure that it is on the right voltage, the 115, before you plug anything in the wall. DC output is 3.3 volts, plus 5 volts, plus 12 volts, plus minus 12 volts, and plus 5 volts SB. Max output is 16 amps, 16 amps, 32 amps, 0.3 amps, 2.5 amps. Combined power is 100 watts, 384 watts, 3.6 watts, 12.5 watts, giving me a total power of 450 watts. Now here you have your 500 Venus as well as your 400. So this is good to keep in mind to know what you're operating with, and pretty well packaged. Now it comes with your plug as well as your screws. Now keep in mind, there are ketchup and mustard cables. I know a lot of y'all hate ketchup and mustard cables. To me, it don't bother me as bit. But if you do not like the ketchup and mustard cables, you can go ahead and buy cable mods, black, or whatever color scheme you want. You can go ahead and buy cable mods. You can go ahead and pack this into the case in the back of the power supply shroud, and you can go ahead and cover all that there up. Now let's get into it. Now, as you see, everything is well explanatory. 450 watts, made in China. You got all your rails there. Just like I said with the 115, make sure that it's on 115 instead of 230. If it's on 230, please make sure it's switched to 115 before you plug it into the wall. It has your basic logo of Apevia, the nice good A symbol. It has a 120 millimeter fans with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 blades, and it is pretty decent. Here's your warranty, so make sure you avoid make sure you don't pop that off. If you do, it avoids the warranty of the power supply. Let's get into the length of the cable rails and everything what we have. Alrighty. Here, your 24 pin. You have 1, 2 SATA, 1 Molex on 1 rail. Here is your 8-pin CPU connect. If your board only house 4, you can separate them. If you want the board house 8, connect them together like that. And your other rail has 2 Molex, the floppy power connect. Now back in the days, though, floppy dumb disk drive was the thing back in the days, and we sure did appreciate it when you had a power supply with the floppy connect, power connect, and you got your SATA on 1 power rail. The length of the cables are nice and long for good cable management, so you can go ahead on and have it set to the bottom, and they can go ahead and route through the cutouts of the case. Now let's go ahead and plug it on in. Got it on 115. And before I get into that, let me go ahead and plug into my so I can go ahead and cut the power on. Alrighty, and for the switch. One thing I like about it off bat, it is nice and quiet. Just like I said, the cable, mustard cables don't bother me. Just keep that in mind. If you don't want to go ahead and buy cable extensions such as Cable Mods, that's the best cable extension company I would recommend. If you don't like the you can catch up with mustard cables, you can buy some basic simple colored cable mods, or you can buy multi-colors or whatever color scheme you're going through. Just buy those. You can hide the catch up mustard cables in the back. Now, just like I said, fan is kind of quiet. Will I recommend you using those pumps on this power supply? No. Because those pumps are 80 plus efficient, certified, so you need an 80 plus bronze that's going to go ahead and put the right amount of power from the wall into those components. For simple basic builds, will I recommend you use a non-efficient power supply? Yes, for simple basic builds, such as your LGA 775s and your AM2s, Athlon X2, 2 cores, 2 thread motherboards, or 2 cores, 4 threads CPUs. 8 to 16 gigabytes of RAM, I will recommend that for these type power supplies. I would not recommend anything 32 or higher. I would not recommend anything overclocking on a efficient power supply. Overclockers such as gamers, streamers, editors, content creators, etc. Y'all need to be on the 80 plus high end builders that use custom cooling or AIOs, high powered motherboards, high powered CPUs. You need to be on the 80 plus efficiency. Now, Apevia do makes 80 plus efficiency. I will be putting those in the description below, so y'all could go ahead and purchase them. I'll also be putting the website of Apevia, so you go check out their products as well. I would recommend this. I have confidence in this that it will power up my Ryzen 5 3600, my business editing rig, my gaming rig, and my entertainment rig. I have confidence in this power supply to power those systems running Cinebench 20. So y'all look out for that video, and I'll see you soon. Alrighty, the moment of truth. I have everything hooked up. Right here is the Apevia Venus 450 watt power supply connected to the my entertainment rig, the A12 9800, as you see right there. Now, the reason why you see it like that, because I ain't feel like going through all the debunk unplugging the RX 500 XT by GAMEMAX. And we have the monitor sitting up top, so everything good to go. We finna go ahead on and fire up. She's on. As you see in the corner, she posted. And she's ready to go. She's all booted up, ready to go. Now, let's log in. Alrighty, on this here, I'm going to be running Cinebench. As y'all see, go ahead on and run Cinebench, and we're finna go ahead on and go ahead and put this baby through a stress test. Will it pass the stress test? 1 of 3. All right, I will be running Cinebench 20. To go ahead on and do the stress test and see if this is a good power supply for a regular, normal, basic build. All right, we up and running. Now keep in mind I'm on the A12 9800 with 16 gigabyte of RAM, 2 8 sticks, running on my Zolt 120 gigabyte SSD, and we're finna go ahead and run the test. And restart it. Alright, let me go ahead and position so everything can be clearly seen. Now also bringing it closer, if y'all see a little smoke come from it, that means that this here power supply cannot handle the load. Y'all go ahead and excuse the camera angles because I am the cameraman, so I gotta get everything set right. So far, she's holding good, and she's still cool. We about halfway through, just getting started rendering, and she's still cool and quiet. Now on as y'all know, on Cinebench 20, it runs the single core. So I'm running a single core test, as that's what it did. The 23 runs the multiple, and it runs the single. So on Cinebench 20 and Cinebench 15, it runs just the single. So which is great. To go ahead and stress this thing up, it's still cool. Now go ahead and keep in mind that all 4 fans are running, which that's about 35 watt power right there, automatic. And no transistors burning, no nothing burning. I did the smell test. It's cool. So far, Apevia non-efficiency is doing its thing. Now, if I had those EK radiators and those EK water blacks, no, this would not be the right power supply for. I'll probably be on the Apevia 80 plus bronze power supply, efficiency power supply, to go ahead and pull all that extra power needed to get to the components. But other than that, everything is good to go. Alright, you're almost about done. About a couple of more squares done rendering. You know, for A12 9800 APU 3.8 base with a 4.2 boost. It's holding out pretty good for my entertainment rig. Alrighty, for my score is 731 points, which is not bad on a single thread run. Single thread run. 2 cores, 4 threads, because the other 2 cores goes directly to the APU. All the tech enthusiasts already know that. But other than that, it did pretty good. Now on to phase 2. The A10 5800K. Alrighty, everybody. Everything is good to go. We on base number 2, the A10 5800K with the GTX 1063 gigabyte with the 30-watt RGB up here fans, 16 gigabyte of RAM of DDR3, and I got 2 of my hard drives connected. Now keep in mind that the base you see right here holds up to 6 hard drives. As you know, I got everything wired this way because I don't feel like going unbuckling everything and doing a wiring here and there just to put it in. But this works just fine. So we can go ahead and boot it up now, and let's do this. And we are booting up. I'll be running Cinebench 20 on this stress test number 2. So far, this Apevia Venus 450-watt power supply is doing this thing as a non-efficiency power supply. Now keep in mind that this is a basic system build here. It also I can game off this here without an issue. Just like I said, on the games I play for like maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours tops. So you know how that is. I do not go ahead on and play 8, 9, 10, 12 hours of gaming like y'all gamers be doing. But this is stress test number 2. And wait till I get booting up, and I'm just going to go ahead and get right into it. Cinebench 20. And we are ready to go. I gotta do an auto, but just like I said, I'm not worrying about that right now. I'm gonna go ahead on and get into Cinebench. It's distracting. Ready to rock and roll. Last rig is my Ryzen 5 3600. I'm saving the best for last. That's the power. 6 cores, 12 threads, 32 gigabyte of RAM, 5 hard drives, 1 M.2, 1 terabyte 7200 spin, 500 terabyte 7200 spin, 2 320s, 2.5 7200 spin. That's the Ryzen 5 3600. Alright, we're ready to go. Accept, and let's get fired up. Stress test number 2. Alright, we started. This system here is on 4 cores, 4 threads. As I said, 2 cores goes to the APU. So base unit is 2 cores, 2 threads. Correction, 2 cores, 4 threads. Base is at, and I got it boosted out to 4.33 gigahertz. Oh. We've got power failure. So, this is interesting. That's interesting. Uh-oh. We might have an issue. Already. We ran into an issue. Let me try the other power supply. Alright, we're gonna try it again. Boot number 2. Maybe it's a power cord. Let me see if it's gonna do the same thing again. If it do the same thing again, it cannot handle this system here. This is why this is on the efficiency power supply. Okay, so it booted back up, so no damage to the system. Thank God for that. Maybe it was a power cord failure. I'm gonna go ahead and see on the second test, but we're gonna go ahead and see what went wrong. So far ain't nothing damaged, so that's a good thing. It fired back up. Now it ran the regular base system, the A12 9800, 2 cores, 4 threads, 3.8, 4.2 boost. This is the same thing, A10 5800, 3.8 gigahertz base with the 4.33 boost, 2 cores, 4 threads. Because these are APUs, note that 2 cores goes directly to the APU automatic. Alright. And I notice my power light is kind of dim, so wow. Alright, let's get on back into it. Alright, we're going back into it. Alright, we're gonna run it again. Here we go. Now if it's shut down again, that means that the system is too powerful for the power supply. Alright, let me click on the run button, and now we're running. Now on the GTX 1063 gigabyte recommended power supply, lower is 350 watts, max is 400. So the power supply net is 450, and we are breaking frames now. Okay, we looking good. So that's what it was. It was just the power cord faulty. So that power cord basically goes for the GAMEMAX power supply, non-efficient, 500 watts, which I had for a long, long time back in 2009, early 2010. All right, we're looking good. You see the frames rendering, and yes, the other test was like about 8 minutes and 4 seconds. This one's going into 11 due to the power faulty power cable. So far, she's holding. Nice and cool. Warming up a little bit, but she's holding. So, would I recommend this power supply? Yes. And if it's holding up on a belt like this, that's great. Just like I said, Apevia do make 600 plus 80 bronze power supplies. So I will be putting those links in the description below if you don't want to buy them for your rig. Then just keep in mind that I'll catch up amongst the cables. I'll look them up on PC Power Picker, and you get them from Amazon and New Aid. Now keep in mind that if you don't like the ketchup or mustard cable, which I know a lot of gamers like to show off their rigs with their nice little the color things, you go ahead and get cable mods. Cable mods are one of the best in the nation in making cables designed for your custom needs. Alright, we're almost done. On the last row. Alrighty, she's done with a score of 672. That is not bad. She held up again. Due to a faulty power cable, she holding up again on rig number 2. Alrighty, we are on rig number 3, which is the big beast, the Ryzen 5 3600. Alrighty, we on the last rig, and here we go. This is the Ryzen 5 3600, 32 gigabyte of RAM. It has 5 hard drives in there, one M.2, 1 terabyte, one 500 gig, and two 320 gigabytes. Yes, the 320 gigabytes are 2.5s, and I got two 3.5s and one M.2. So we're going to go ahead and power up on the Apevia Venus 450 watt power supply. And here we go. And we are up and running, baby. There go the screen. Let's do this. Alright, we are up and running. Screen is up, screen lit. Let's go, baby. And she looking nice and mean. Alrighty. Now when I had did the A10, when I unplugged the plug from the wall, that plug was mighty hot. So yes, it's putting a lot of power from the wall just to run that system. So let's see how this runs. Alrighty, as you notice, I got so much going on. I'm gonna go ahead and adjust my screen so I can see what's going on up top, because I can't see what's going on up top. Alright, we good. We got my screen set now. We can run Cinebench 20. Alright, we are up and running, so let's see how this baby pull. Alright. Now keep in mind this is 6 cores, 12 threads, 32 gigabyte, and damn it, she's running. This is my beast right here. This is my editing rig and my business rig. I do a lot of business stuff off here, such as should I sit down and say I'm an investor, stock investor. I do my taxes. I do etc. with this rig right here. and I do all my editing my photos at 1080p off my Radeon 500 2GB card. Now I would love to go ahead and get that Radeon 6600 XT, but I know they're gonna be sold out at Best Buy. That's why I wish all the game tubers, y'all get y'all cards, y'all be happy. Go ahead and post me a shot of y'all video card on my Twitter account, so I go ahead and see it. Just go ahead on and congratulate you, so you go ahead on and do your thing. And good gracious, this is done in about 4 minutes. Oh my gosh, with a score of 3,578. Yes, and she passed the test. Stay cool. Plug stayed cool. So Apevia 450 Venus Power Supply is recommended by me for the Ryzen 5 3600. Yes, I would not recommend you put this on the Ryzen 7 or the Ryzen 9 3950 or the 3800 XT or the 3700, whatever the CPU is. If you do use those, I would prefer to use the Apevia 680 bronze efficiency power supply for that, because those put more power from the board, because you got to go on the B450 and the B500s, and those are beefcakes. Alrighty, I want to thank y'all for watching this video. I'm going to go ahead and get it posted up between tomorrow or Thursday. And I want to wish y'all a wonderful and blessed night. Y'all take care. See you in the next one.